Hello, welcome to UBU Healing Space. We're on this journey toward a soft life and inner child healing. And I wanted to just talk briefly about the idea of setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. It seems like it's would be something that's easy to do, but it's not. And why? So it's important that you create boundaries around yourself to protect you, right? Sometimes when you don't say no, or when you volunteer to do all the things, or you don't create a space for yourself for silence and meditation, or to read a book, or to write, or to do all the things that bring you joy, when you don't create this space, you lose a part of yourself to the distraction. Does that make sense? You lose a part of yourself to whatever the distraction is. I remember years ago, I was working in banking, and I loved my cubicle. I had all my pictures and my snacks and my water cup, and I was standing, and I used to purposefully open my desk drawers so that I was boxed into my cubicle, this little space. I wasn't fearful of anything. I wasn't fearful of someone coming in and causing harm in some way. But what I noticed was, in the morning when I arrived to my desk, when I needed that space and time to drink a coffee, eat my breakfast quietly, to get myself ready for my day, coworkers, well-meaning, wanted to come to my desk and hold lengthy conversation. Now you're thinking, that doesn't sound too bad. Holding conversation with your coworkers. It's not that it was bad, it was that what I need for the morning is quiet. You understand? I need to have the quiet time before my work day, before my day, to have my coffee, to have a little breakfast, and to breathe. Without those drawers opened, without me having created that little boundary, I felt as if my space was being compromised. My personal time was being compromised. And then I can't be the best employee if I didn't have, you know how that goes. That's an example I can think of where I established a physical boundary in a space. And again, this was years ago. So what does it look like now as I'm moving toward this soft life and working to heal little Shannon, my inner child? Sometimes it's just saying no. Sometimes it's saying no. Sometimes it's walking away from a conversation or a space because it's pulling from you, pulling from your energy. And sometimes you may be in scenarios where you verbalize that you need a boundary, but what I found is that no one can provide the boundary that you need more than you. You need to establish that boundary and know that you should not be expecting others to understand or reciprocate. You have to be radical, and it's really hard because it gets awkward. Saying no when someone asks you a favor or asks you a question, it doesn't feel comfortable at first. But think of the times that you said yes and how burdened you felt by making that decision, by agreeing to something that literally dragged you into a space of just if you would have just said no, if in your heart of hearts you felt no was your answer, if you would have just said no, the awkwardness would be there, but then it would pass and you'd go on your merry way, and the next time would be much easier. Why am I talking about boundaries today? I often think of boundaries that I set and don't set, and how I feel when I do or I don't. And not setting the boundary makes me feel out of alignment. It makes me feel chaotic on the inside. It makes me feel inauthentic. And that's the thoughts. Those are the thoughts that happen afterward. It could be a day, it could be 2 days. Depending on what I signed up for, it could be months. We're going to work on setting boundaries. At some point, we're also going to be doing some no exercises. No is a complete sentence. Can you? No. Do you have time for it? No. Will you please? No. We're going to get comfortable with that. That's what I wanted to share today. Thank you for joining UBU Healing Space. We're going to get some work done here. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey.